Welcome back. We're excited to welcome to the virtual stage a wonderful champion of both sustainability and diversity and inclusion. Please welcome Senior Vice President and CTO at Agilent, Darlene Solomon. In her leadership role at Agilent, Darlene works closely with Agilent's businesses to define their technology strategy and R&D priorities. Darlene will present a lightning talk on sustainability and the research laboratory. Welcome, Darlene.
So first off, again, hello, everybody. And I'm really delighted to have this chance to give this lightning talk on sustainability and the research lab. You know, this topic is not nearly as grandiose as wildfires and many of the other incredibly important planetary topics that are part of this awesome symposium. But the lab is a place that is near and dear to many of us as technologists. And I think that's something to really have us take to heart. So what you may not realize is that labs consume like 5 to 10 times more energy than office spaces. There's like 12 billion pounds of plastic that is discarded from labs worldwide every year. And similarly, the labs also consume 4 to 10 times more water than office spaces. So with that in mind, I think that, you know, this extra attention to what we can do in the research lab is really important. I'll give you just a very quick snapshot of Agilent. Our mission is to deliver trusted answers and insights that enable our customers to advance quality of life. And those customers are the world's 275,000 research, test, and clinical labs worldwide. On the right, you see some of the areas where our customers are focused. The first 3 areas are what we call the applied chemical markets, capabilities for food safety, food authenticity testing, obviously environmental safety, water, soil, air, chemical energy. Pharmaceutical and biotech is actually our largest market. Clinical research and diagnostics is one that's very high growth for us today. And of course, academic and government research, which really touches kind of everything we do. So Agilent provides instrumentation and workflow solutions for analytical research labs. And those solutions are areas like chromatography, mass spec, spectroscopy. When we say solutions, it means not just the instrument, but the front end sample prep and then what goes into the data analytics to really get the actionable information from the data. And then on the life science research and clinical lab side, this covers areas like genomics, pathology, and cell analysis. So labs are looking for partnership, and we're trying to be part of that solution, helping our customers to achieve their sustainability goals. And as you kind of see kind of mocked up in the front, we led a lab manager survey in the last couple of years. And in this global survey of about 700 lab managers, 50% had corporate sustainability goals, many with specific target focus areas. You can see on the far right, reducing energy and water consumption right at the top, followed by ensuring adequate recycling and ensuring green purchasing. So labs are looking to reduce their environmental impact, their environmental footprint, but that's while at the same time increasing the productivity and performance of the laboratory, reducing costs, and always committed to making their labs a safe and healthy place, environment in which to work. So at Agilent, sustainability is an important part of our mission, and we believe that, you know, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do this in a responsible and an ethical way, and that's in full alignment with our culture and our values. So for example, reducing energy and water and gas consumption in some of the spectroscopy and chromatography products that are listed here, ensuring adequate recycling and advancing green purchasing with smarter packaging, but also instrument trade-in and buyback programs where we can refurbish an instrument, literally make it like new and provide it with warranty. Reducing hazardous waste is also a key area. And one example here is that first one listed, the IDP scroll pumps. You know, anybody who's worked with vacuum pumps knows that vacuum oil is pretty icky, a lot of hazardous waste in there and not a pleasant job to change it. And so think about vacuum pumps that literally run on air and not oil. Better ease of use, but at the same time, far less hazardous waste. Okay. But it's not just about hardware and consumables. Software and services can also make a really big difference as we advance our efforts through digital transformation. So some examples here would be software, our cross-lab virtual assist. This is an example of being able to provide augmented reality into the laboratory. And so when there's an instrument that's down, for example, we can, the customer can kind of turn on their AR and have an Agilent service person looking over their shoulder, helping them to perhaps fix the instrument or at least do some initial diagnostics, which, again, it's win-win. It's faster time to uptime, but it's also eliminating the impact of carbon footprint on travel. Or asset monitoring software that can help labs to better manage the energy use, for example, across their laboratory. Or examples where, in this case, compliance is today, before the digital solutions that we've introduced, compliance on an instrument could have like hundreds of pounds, for a particular territory of paper. And if you could do that digitally, again, it's really, really great in terms of the environmental impact. We've also been recognized for these efforts. It's always great when there's external recognition. It's not something that we seek, but we've been one of the top 3 companies by Barron's since they've been running their survey of the top 100 most sustainable companies in the US. We're number 1 in 2020. We've put in place some ESG, that's environmental social governance frameworks, as far as including net zero participation. And Jill asked me if I'd say a bit about that at the end, which I will. But the main thing I wanted to that excites me and I wanted to talk to you about today is our partnership with My Green Lab. So My Green Lab is a California, Bay Area-based not-for-profit organization aiming to build a culture of sustainability in research laboratories. They have many partners now. We've been working with them for more than 3 years, and it's been great to see how their members have grown. But this includes industry, government, and academic laboratories, including a number of UCs, a few of which I've listed here. Partnering with My Green Lab gives us the opportunity to work with a recognized expert in this field and gain outside-in perspective. I think it's really quite consistent, even with some of the conversations in the earlier panel, about how important it is to have an external validation, that we shouldn't just all be saying this is sustainable or putting some label on it, but that we really need to be striving towards common standards to drive the industry. So we've been a great partner to My Green Lab. They've been a great partner to us. We're their first top-level transformative sponsor. And we lead the world in what are called ACT label certifications of complex analytical instrumentation. So ACT labels, ACT stands for accountability, consistency, and transparency. And the ACT label is like an eco-nutrition label for lab products. The idea is to make it easier for people to choose safe and sustainable products. So just like you might see a nutrition label like this on anything that you purchase, on the food side, the grocery side of things, the idea with the ACT label is kind of mimicking this. So nutrition labels tell us about fat content, for example, carbohydrate and vitamins. The ACT label provides information on the environmental impact of the lab product and its packaging through various stages, through the manufacturing, through the actual use by the laboratory, and then end of life and disposal. And so we have sought out and achieved these ACT label certifications on our liquid chromatography, mass spec, gas chromatography, and spectroscopy product families. So what does it take to receive an ACT label? It's an audit, which is conducted by an independent organization working together with My Green Lab. 39 questions is not that many, but those questions are deep, and there's a lot of content that you have to pull together in order to really provide what's needed. And that includes publicly available data, but a lot of embedded information around technical drawings, the materials that are used, the kinds of testing and so forth that's done throughout the product development and manufacturing. Generally about 25 megabytes of data per system. And because some of these elements depend on shipping, for example, it's important to understand, where something's manufactured versus, where it's, going to, be distributed and so forth. These labels end up being geography specific. And at this point, My Green Lab offers US, Europe, and UK as destinations for having these labels. Several months of data collection and review are required. And one of the things that I really love about this, I'm pretty collaborative across Agilent in my role, but these labels are cross-functional, meaning that we need to bring in expertise and understanding for manufacturing, R&D, marketing, logistics, and quality. It's really a very broad enablement. And it's a great education process. It's one that helps us make ourselves more knowledgeable, more aware of some of the factors influencing the sustainability of our products, and a baseline reference so that as we go forward on that next generation, we can be very conscious about how we can raise the bar and improve the sustainability going forward. So it's been a great tool. So this is a lightning talk. I'm wrapping up here with one slide that Jill asked if I would include, which is a bit on Agilent's commitment to net zero. So we committed last fall, and along with around the timing of COP26 and so forth. So we have 2030 and 2050 goals that we have publicly shared, reducing scope 1 and 2 emissions by 50% and scope 3 by 30% by 2030, which doesn't seem nearly as long from now as it used to. And by 2050, achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions. We're investing in renewable energy, engaging across our value chain from purchased goods to sold products, and aligning with science-based targets initiatives and Paris Agreement, which we feel is very important. And we've gotten started. We have a ways to go, but we have already made some good progress in reducing our emissions, creating digital tools that reduce travel while increasing productivity, both internally and externally with customers, and reducing our carbon footprint for select products and packaging. So with just a few closing words, sustainability is increasingly important to our customers, our shareholders, our colleagues, our families, our communities, and absolutely the future of our planet. I think it's fantastic that this is the theme of this year's EDGE conference. Labs are looking to reduce their environmental impact, but at the same time, they don't want to compromise the productivity, cost, and safety. And so this is really an and, it's not an or. And as such, I've been championing really the idea that sustainability is a whole new opportunity, a whole new driver for innovation for us to really achieve these goals simultaneously. I think we're leading our industry in many ways and ready to raise the bar to help reduce environmental impact of our products in the laboratory. And it's been so clear through our efforts, what I've been reading the last few years, is that it really takes all of us, that the small changes may not seem all that significant, all that noticeable, but when we start working together along these lines, I think we can have enormous impact in bringing forward this additional focus and commitment. So I thank you all very much, and I hope that I've stuck within the allotted timing.
Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, we're really honored to have you here. It was a really inspiring lightning talk, and so exciting to see the snapshot of Agilent and to hear about these powerful technologies. I love the idea of using AR applications to reduce the need for travel. That's really great. And the partnership with My Green Lab is super and very inspiring to follow. I'm glad that Agilent is a leader in that area, so congratulations.
Thank you, Camille. And thank you to everybody.
Thanks for joining us.